YouTube, hello, welcome to the stream today. Today could be the conclusion of the Ocarina of Time Randomizer, but if I hear the Gerudo Valley theme, I have to reset. If you saw in the last part, we've gotten all the way up into Ganon's castle. We're 2 item checks away from being able to go and complete the game, so we're going to see if we can find those today. We either beat this today, and this part will say final, or I got re-randomized and it won't say final. But either way, this has been an incredibly fun series that I've been doing. I've been super excited about all this, and hopefully you all have been too. If you have, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment how you've been enjoying the series, and maybe some other ideas you have with Ocarina of Time, maybe some other things of, you know, Ocarina of Time, but if this happens, then I have to reset type deal, because I think this series is really fun. YouTube, I love you, thank you for the support, and I will see you in just a second. Alright, YouTube, we are back. It is time. So when we did this last, I think I said what I wanted to do was go to the Shadow Temple first, because there's an entire spinning pot room that has, I think, like close to 10 checks in it on its own. Oops, going the wrong way. So I want to navigate through here. But I think the plan is going to be Shadow Temple. Then after Shadow Temple, we will probably go to the Fire Temple. I know I have keys to be able to legitimately finish the Forest Temple, but I don't think there's as many checks left in the Forest Temple compared to the Fire Temple. So I think it benefits us a lot more to go to places where there are more checks. Hi Moon Elf, how are you? And thank you for the quack. I'm good, glad to hear. We are potentially looking at the conclusion of this today, depending on how quickly I can find these silver rupee pouches and if the game's gonna be mean and play the Gerudo Valley theme towards the end. What a camera. Alright, now this fun part again, where platform's not there. Cool. Oh, and we're gonna have to go. This is the only annoying part. I might honestly go to the room to the left over here just to kind of set a better loading point from this, because that's gonna just be annoying to have to walk the whole way back down here. Okay. Or I'm just gonna be stubborn with this. Alright, so okay. Ha! Alright. Got through that. That was probably the most annoying room. Not a worry. Wanna... Oh, you know what? I don't think I can get there from here. I think I have to, like... I think it's doing hover boots over there, so I'm not concerned. Yeah, at least this time I have iron boots going through here. Just need to wait for the band to start back up. Stop! Hi, Spark. How are you? Any of these give magic? Okay. There's not a lot of magic, but it's at least something. Alright. Now we can open up the shortcut. Though, like I said, there's not really a reason after I clear all of this stuff to really come back to the Shadow Temple. Because after I clear all of this, the only check remaining is the boss room. And yeah, there's a universe where the boss room could have a silver rupee pouch, but it's highly unlikely at this point. Considering how late into the game I am. Yep. Okay, there's one of them. There's one of them. We are now one silver rupee pouch away from being able to clear the rest of Ganon's castle. I found the long shot in Song of Storms last night. My personal randomizer, so doing much better now. Hey, where, thank you. Where were they at? If you remember. Oh my god. Out of here. I didn't know that if you put bugs in the levitate plant spots, there are gold skulltulas in there. They were both hiding. Oh, yep, the bean patches. Yep, those are easy ones to forget that they exist. There's a lot of stuff in this game when I was first doing randomizers that I didn't realize would be checks or that existed, especially when it came to freestanding hearts, rupees, the pots and crates and all of that. I missed so many checks off of that stuff. Actually, now that I remember too, after we're done in here, before we go to the Fire Temple, we will go back to Desert Colossus. Because I only did the business scrub checks there, so... Can I make this? That is a negative. That's fine. A little annoying to do this, but honestly probably for the best. I know how to beat the game easy. I've had it memorized since I was 10, but all this 100% stuff is all new to me. Yup. These randomizers will do that. They will not only test your knowledge of where the most minute checks are, but it will also test you to see what is technically possible within logic. Like, you have to shift your mental with these randomizers, because when I first started doing them, I'm like, I don't get the hover boots until the Shadow Temple, so these aren't going to be in logic until late, because it's, you know, it's super late in the game. But the reality of it is if you get the hover boots early enough, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the fact that you have hover boots, and the logic says you can reach these areas. Or like the fact that you have Megaton Hammer, so that basically can replace a lot of bombable areas as Adult Link. Or that if you need to go, if the game has logic for you going into the Water Temple but you don't have Iron Boots, if you have Gold Scale and Long Shot, you can get in there. So it definitely is a huge, like, test of, like, what you can actually do. Oh, hey. True, it's all open and a lot of back and forth, but honestly, I really like them so far. Breathes new life in the game. Absolutely. And the more you kind of do it, and the more you start learning about all these other checks, the more everything kind of just opens up. There's the boss temple for the forest, or the boss temple, dear lord. The boss key for the forest temple. Don't need that Bob skipped your little key. True though, I don't need that. Alright, this room right here. This is the one that has a ton of checks to it. But yeah, the amount of things you can randomize now, the fact you can randomize wonder items, like there's so many things you can randomize and so many different options, and even just changing like end result. Do you really want to go through and fight Ganon, or do you want to make it where you do a Triforce hunt so that it's a little bit, you know, it's more of like a scavenger hunt instead of a I have to just beat the game style. That's a Kokiri, or that's bomb juice. Alright, what do we got over here? Useless, useless, useless. Yeah, cool. The Ocarina of Time. Great. That kind of sucked. It's just like, even now, with me having like silver rupee pouches, I had been doing where I was randomizing the silver rupees individually, and I was finding that the randomizers were just too long and way too intricate. So now I do silver rupee pouches so that I still get those really, really big checks for all of those silver rupees. But instead of having to track down 5 individual ones, I just get a pouch. And that's made this so much better. All right. To the Desert Colossus now. The pouch is a great idea. They also have like the key rings mode too, if you don't want to track down all of the small keys, which I also think is a real nice quality of life thing. I personally like the key sanity because there's not a ridiculous amount of keys in the game, plus it's just fun to find. But there's just so many different ways that you can randomize the game. And it really does just breathe new life into this. Alright, that all did not go according to plan. Our piece. Alright. That's why I'm really excited for a lot of the other randomizers I have planned. I think it's going to be so much fun. Okay. I think that's the last treasure box shop key. Like, I'm really excited for the Minish Cap randomizer. It's my wife. Hi, Raven. Hopefully work's going well for you. Come.
Hi, Mom. I miss you.
Alright, so that should be pretty much everything out here. See if I can see up here. Blue rupee. Okay, so I don't need any of that. So with that being said, also give me even more respect for the original game designers. Something as simple as what you just did. The Spirit Temple requires Din's fire so you can, or the Shadow Temple is what I'm assuming you meant. Requires Din's fire so you can burn those spikes, get the boss key. They thought of everything. Yeah. A lot of just different intricate tricks, things you can do, hidden gems. Also too, like, in here, for example, so there is technically one more fire temple key in order to properly complete this, because you would need to go all the way to the top to get the Megaton Hammer, drop all the way down to do these Megaton Hammer things. You can actually skip a key in this dungeon if you have, if you guessed it, hover boots. So we're gonna go ahead and do this area. Figure out yesterday a very skippable key. Yup. There's a couple different places where, like, you can skip keys or you can avoid having certain checks Like the forest temple with that Song of Time block, if you have iron boots or hover boots, you can technically skip needing Song of Time. And vice versa with like the bow, you can avoid on that one too, so. It's just crazy how much stuff you can actually just kind of like skip past because it's just, you have other progression to beat it. Oops. Also, this Flare Dancer being a pushover, because apparently if you use the Megaton Hammer, you can just instantly knock out his thing. Goodbye. I also have, I think, most of the trade quest stuff. I've got a good chunk of it. I think there's like 1 or 2 items I might be missing, but I pretty much, for the most part, have everything out of that, so. There's also, I forgot this the last time I was in here, so we're gonna go ahead and just do it now. There is a Skulltula over here. It's still wild to me, I still don't have a Ponasol. It's just a piece of heart. All right, now up we go. This temple is probably one of the more annoying ones to have to progress back through. Forest Temple also ranks up there because if you don't get to a certain point, then you're kind of just stuck in the weeds. But this one definitely has the most annoying reprogression. Alright, so we already went all the way up there, so now we're just going back in here. Oh my god. Don't need any of that. Yeah, so like I said, there's technically one more key we would need because of progression in here. But because we have the hover boots, we can actually skip part of it. I don't remember this fire maze at all. Nope, it's right there. But yeah, there's the last locked door that we would need a key for. But, we don't need that. Forgot there was one there. Gerudo Training Grounds key. Alright, Gerudo Training Grounds is probably somewhere we could go back to as well. Because we have so many of the keys now. Actually, there's a door over here, right? So I think I can reach this door without needing... Yeah, we can get to this one. Alright. Never mind. Didn't need that one. Not at all. Hello, rock. You're the worst. Alright, I may have forgotten to roll there, but... There we go. Oops. And there we go. What'd I miss? Nothing so far. We're still just making our way through the fire temple. Hello, my Goron brethren. Okay. Then is this the locked one? No. Perfect. Goodbye, fire. Quiver upgrade? Alright. We have 18 hearts. That's wild. No, it's the flare dancer again. Whack. Where are you jumping to now? How cute. Goodbye. I've seen some about it. I'm just kind of in the middle about it. It's hard right now for me to get into games that are like just big open world, constant building style stuff, just because I don't have the kind of time that I would want to be able to put in for those games. Alright, let's see if we can line this up. God. Nailed it. I think there's a couple checks down here. I think these little crates are checks now. They are. All right. I believe that's pretty much all the checks in here. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. Or I've heard about it, but haven't seen a platform on. I thought it was on Steam. Yeah, big sandbox games are definitely fun. It's just hard timing-wise for me right now. Oh, it's on their private webs. Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, we're done in here. So, next... Guess we'll go back to the Forest Temple now. Yeah, we did the Scarecrow area in here. Yeah, I think it was like the second or third time I went into there, we knocked that out. So if we don't find what we need in here, the next spot we'll go will probably be the Gerudo training grounds. Hopefully we can find something there. Another thing I'm learning with these, I never knew what areas the Scarecrow was in before. I knew they were a thing, but not where they were. It was like maybe several randomizers ago when I learned that there's a scarecrow in the Sacred Forest meadow for you to just skip past all the moblins. Had no idea it was there. Because I have the free scarecrow song turned on, I think I was trying to play a warp. And it pulled out the ocarina to play the warp, and I heard the thing go off for the scarecrow. And that's when I saw it, and I was like, this has been here the whole time? Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get, I doubt they're gonna really get clocked by Minecraft. There's enough distinctions with it that keep it separate. I think it would take a lot for things to go south with something like that. So somewhere down here, I don't remember where. Somewhere around here, there's some pots. There they are. It's good work because of how AAA companies are acting right now. Yeah, I mean, some of them are kind of being a little over the top about things. And I mean, some of it is kind of warranted for certain aspects, but then there's other aspects where it's like, nah, we can chill out a little bit. Yeah, I did hear about that with it, so, I mean, at the end of the day, it's more so inspired by Minecraft. Because that's the thing, is like, the elements of Minecraft, like, a good chunk of that stuff is not going to be protected in the sense of you can't go after a game for putting together a survival crafting style game, because that's such a broad category. But obviously if it was like, hey, it's gonna be like all square blocks and we're gonna copy all the crafting recipes and the end boss is gonna be an ender dragon, and you just like reskin and rename the stuff, then yeah, they have every right to go after them. But taking the elements and just kind of the inspiration from should not be enough to cause any issues. Well, there's the last fire temple key. I'm getting slightly concerned right now because we have what feels like practically everything in the game. We're missing, I know where the Stone of Agony is, so I'm not really missing that. We're missing Epona's Song, Gold Scale. I think we have all of these upgrades, yeah. We're missing Lens of Truth, and then I think like one of these. And then everything else is just like heart pieces, heart containers, you know, magic meter, stuff like that. So it's making me concerned that we still haven't found this last silver rupee bag. how many Zelda clones are, but it was really that Zelda just kind of started a genre that others are allowed to create. And yeah, I mean, even think of like Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley had such success that we have so many different farming simulator games that exist now. And it's not that they didn't exist before, but so many of them take elements from Stardew and just kind of rework and build it into their style without basically being like, we are Stardew. I'm no Minecraft player by any means, played for years, but I'm more of an explorer and I like the Hightail way better for that so far. Yeah, I mean, every game definitely has its things. Minecraft is definitely more of the building style, whereas it sounds like Hightail is a lot more about the adventuring side. So that definitely, that kind of gives it its own advantage to it. Stardew set a new standard. Yeah, Stardew definitely set a pretty good standard for farming sims. Four Island took a lot from Stardew standard and largely expanded it with the 3D graphics. Yeah, there's a lot of games that took some heavy inspiration from Stardew. They speed this fight up? They absolutely sped this fight up. Because I remember doing this and I would have to, like, wait forever for the respawns. Okay. They sped that up too. That's actually really nice. There's not much left to check in here. The speed at which this stuff moves now is, like, a little funny. I want to get the Lunar Silver Star Story remaster eventually. Lunar 1 and 2 are part of my PS1 childhood. I would love a remaster of Twilight Princess. Nah, that's called to look and stay there. You know what? I'm here. Might as well just grab it. That should be it though, right? Yeah, because we hit that and then that's just the boss room, so... Yeah, we're done in here. Yeah, so we'll go Gerudo Training Grounds next. Yeah. People often knock the games for being too basic of a fantasy RPG game, but it's an older game, not every story has to push all kinds of limits. I mean, sometimes the simplest games can just have the biggest impacts. Like, not everything has to be the highest graphics with the most in-depth story, with the most complex combat or anything like that. Sometimes just a simple game can do many wonders. And I think, honestly, that's why I feel like a lot of video games nowadays try too hard to, like, rewrite the formula and just completely upend it instead of expanding on what works. what it might lack in new story, it makes up with fantastic characters with voice acting and amazing animated anime cutscenes that were in an old pixel game. Yeah, I mean, it's just the little things like that. Like, you look at Stardew Valley. It's a 2D pixel game that basically a farming sim. Sure, it had some combat, and sure, there was like some fishing in it. It was fairly simply put together, but it was done in a way that was fun and inviting, and it worked. I feel like there's times where developers will try to rewrite the system too hard, and it backfires. Trying to think on top of my head of like a recent game that I felt that way with. Well, actually, this isn't even that recent, but probably one of the more notable ones. The Spyro series. Spyro 1 and Spyro 2 were really good. Spyro 3 was decent too, but it was a lot larger and kind of pushed the envelope a little bit. After those, it's like the Spyro games just lost the charm that captivated him on the early PlayStation systems, and then it just disappeared. And it's because it's like you took the formula and you rewrote it so hard that it doesn't fit the same category of what you were going through. And it's not to say that games rewriting the formula is a bad thing, because I mean, look at Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think those games are phenomenal and did an incredible job of rewriting the system. Are there parts of it that I wish were still around? Yeah. I miss the feel of basically the unique dungeons and stuff like that, which there were more elements of that kind of being brought back in the Tears of the Kingdom. But at the same time, like, it was a good rewrite because it was carefully thought out. Oh, hey, there's my enhanced magic meter. Actually based. I have... Okay, I've used 2 keys. I don't remember where I used them at, but... Seeing's been done with books. Yeah, oh my god, I can't tell you the number of times that like a book series will be going down like a really good path, or like it'll have a really good wrap-up point, and then they just do something with it that just completely ruins it, and you're just like, why did you tweak it that hard? Like, you didn't have to do that. Tolkien is playing for the standards of modern fantasy, but it isn't his fault. When his books got popular over here, a dude who started publishing company decided to capitalize. Guy brought him a book obviously inspired by Lord of the Rings, and instead of having him edit it, the publisher made him lean into it more. And anyone who got fantasy published under him had to fit into the as close to Tolkien's work as possible standard. It bred all the modern anti-Tolkien and other spiraling directions. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with being inspired by other content and other works, but being inspired and being unique while being inspired are important distinctions. You don't want to be stuck in a person or a genre shadow because you're like, I have to conform to this. Like, you still gotta make your stuff unique, but there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration. The worst part is he encouraged random tropes and people lose Tolkien's real messages as a result. Yeah. Alright, so we're 1 key short from the ending room. There's nothing else in here. Okay. So now we pretty much are at trade quest stuff. The prescription goes to King Zora. Pretty sure I've already done the eyeball. I have not done Kojiro. I don't know where the Pocket Kuko goes. I thought it went back to Kakariko, but Lord only knows. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of like hidden meanings through all of that stuff. And when people are so focused on when people are so focused on just trying to fit the narrative, then it doesn't really work. Oh, that's right. I like don't do this check that often. I forgot that there was like a step to this. That's right, because I think he's in here, right? He should be like laying on the bed in here. Yep. Hey, buddy. I always forget that that's the step for that. Alright, now your chicken is happy. Okay, so now I'm here, so we might as well also do this one. The Big One Store is my favorite, so I end up doing this one in my vanilla game a lot. You know, fair enough. I hate doing this trade quest in vanilla. So there's certain steps that, like, I remember. And then there's other ones that I just completely forget about. And that's one of those instances where I just forgot, oh yeah, you have to go use the chicken first and then bring the chicken back. Yeah, don't mind me, buddy. I'm just going around. And actually, technically, this odd mushroom is 2 checks. Because it'll allow me to buy an item afterwards. Okay. So can I... 100 rupees, yep. Okay. This is not going well so far. Alright, so I know we need to do the Kojiro check, and the prescription check, and the eye drops check. I already know what this is. So let's do the eye drops first. No, you're all good, Moon Elf. You're absolutely all good. Yes, we'll do the eye drops. Then we'll cut to the Lost Woods to do the Kojiro check. Then we can head to Zora's Domain. That'll pretty much clear all of the trade quest checks. I just feel like I talk way too much too. That's literally me every day. It's literally me every day. Even in streaming, I feel like when I just kind of go on a tangent, I just go on a tangent. But I also feel like, too, that's also part of the streaming, is just be who you are and, you know, talk and do what you can to engage, even if it's just yapping about what I'm gonna do next. But no, I absolutely love when you all want to just chit-chat, whether it's with me or amongst yourselves or about things that interest you, because, I mean, half the time I sit here and yap about the things that interest me. Be pretty scummy of me to be like, hey, I'm gonna yap about my stuff, you can't yap about your stuff. There are topics I don't often get to talk in depth about because most people aren't interested, so sometimes when opportunities arise, I get carried away. I'm the same way. Like, there's certain topics that if people talk about, I could talk for hours about it. Like, anything video game related with like Zelda or Pokemon, I could yap for hours. You talk about like professional football, I could talk about that for hours. Like, there's just certain things that I could yap and yap about, and I hit a point where I'm like, this person probably has checked out of this conversation like 20 minutes ago. But I also know that a lot of times it's not even about like having people know what you're talking about or, you know, talking back with all of it. It's just about them listening and being engageful of what you're talking about. Hey, big guy, I got some eye drops for you. Can you give me a silver rupee pouch? That is a Gerudo training ground key. That is not what I asked for. But I think that's also too why I like with streaming, because with the games that I'm playing and everything like that, I can yap about these games and show off my passion, and I feel like it kind of just shows in the content that I'm putting out. Also appreciate feedback sometimes or other viewpoints. It's how I learn, and learning is satisfying. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think we're pretty well clear in here. Ow. Let's go ahead and hey, buddy. Okay. We also have Soraya's song that we can do some checks with as well. That's the biggest reason I've considered picking up streaming. Since working from home, I haven't gotten to socialize enough, so just getting to get on and chat with folks for a little while sounds appealing. Yeah, exactly. I love playing games, I love yapping with people. It's just a good time all around. And I can kind of show off my love and passion of games. Sometimes I can be good at games, like when I break into the Forest Temple, and then other times I can be really bad at games, like when I misroll and jump off the edge somewhere. I have a friend who has dumped so much Warhammer lore on me, I could probably give an hour's worth of random facts now, or close to, and I still haven't learned much past the surface of it. That's how I am with like Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, I know the basic stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh, but I love hearing people talk about like the meta and how like things have evolved and things like that, because it's like, it's cool to learn. It's cool to hear, and I always love hearing about what people enjoy about that kind of stuff. That's something I've noticed about myself. As much as I play video games, I'm not actually good at them. I just enjoy them. There's like a couple games that I'm like, I would consider myself good at the game. Not like the best in the world, but like, I'm good at the game, I know what I'm doing. Ocarina of Time is one of those. I'm still learning like more intricate things and different exploits and stuff. But in terms of like the base game knowledge, I'm like, yeah, I pretty well know what's going on in this. And then there's other games that I play that I'm just like, I enjoy it, like Kirby Air Ride and Kirby Air Riders. There's people who will like min-max it, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing with that. Okay. Yeah, Pokemon Puzzle League is one of those where I feel like I'm decent at it. I wouldn't say I'm insane, but like I've watched speedruns and people have talked about how like there is actually like a trick to beat the AI. The problem is I don't have like the quick reflexes to see the moves to be able to block the AI that quickly. So it's very fascinating with that. Okay. I have to, there's something major we're missing here. I don't even know if I could access the spoiler log for this seed. And it's not because I want to try to avoid the Gerudo Valley theme, but I'm at the point where the checks are getting so scattered now that it's like, do I really want to spend an additional part beyond this because I couldn't track down one random check that I didn't do? Oh wait, did I get... I did. But I still have some other stuff as like Kid Link that I can do. We can add Soraya's song for the frog checks. We can also do Soraya's song in the Lost Woods, in Darunia's room. So that's like 3 checks right there for that one. Treasure Box Shop will have a check. Looks like you're going to have to go around slaying bosses. That's such a dangerous thing to do. And the thing is too, like, I really could only go for the fire and the water temple bosses. Because I've beaten all the other ones and I can't get to the shadow temple one yet. Bean patches are useless to me for the magic beans. There does exist the possibility that a bean check could be important. There's also the potential of the skull mask being important. And honestly, I might go ahead and get to... I might go ahead and get to that one of it. Because I'm going to be going towards the Lost Woods anyway. I already know the Mask of Truth. It led to something. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't anything like super crazy. Have you done your bugs and bean patches yet? Because sometimes it's all you need. There's a couple that I have not done. I've done most of them, but that's also in the back of my mind as well of, is the Desert Colossus bean patch necessary? Really? Bro, that's ridiculous. I just got an email from my electric company. They were like, a rebill for your account. I guess maybe they didn't put enough on there. The rebill is for 6 cents. how do you want me to pay that? The minute I make that payment on any card, it's going to get flagged. They're going to be like, this is fraudulent. Not that it matters, because it says it's not due until March, and there's going to be another electric bill that comes in like a week, so... Found an amazing crochet book that I want to grab eventually. It's a book based on inclusive doll making. Nice. Alright, need to make sure to make it daytime. Actually, before I make it daytime, I want to double check Bomb Chew shop. And then, we can do the last treasure box shop check real quick. How many resources did that 6-cent bill take to get to you? Yeah, I know. I mean, luckily it was electronic delivery, but I'm just like... You're really going to rebill me for 6 whole cents instead of just saying, hey, we missed something on this for 6 cents. We're just gonna tack that onto your next bill. Like, what? All right. I also might double check Lon Lon Ranch for the business scrubs. Make sure that I did actually clear business scrubs out. I just go ahead and buy this, yeah, I'm just gonna go buy this. Alright, so let's get the skull mask. Have I don't think I beat the temple for the Goron Ruby. No, okay. I was gonna say, I could go all the way up through the Mask of Truth, but at the same time, I don't remember what the Mask of Truth led to, but I know it wasn't anything, like, crazy. Okay, so we've done that. Let's go over here to Lon Lon real quick. And then we can just warp to Sacred Forest Meadow to cut in on time. What were the other... Zora's River, which I can get to for Saria Song. Goron City, we can do a quick cut through for that. Okay, so I want to double check, like I said, Lon Lon Ranch, cut through Kokiri Forest, Death Mountain, or Goron City, and Zora's River for the Saria Song checks. And then I'm probably going to take a short stretch break. And then we'll come back and see if we can find this last bit of progression. Oh, I haven't been in here during when it's been like full on day, so I almost rolled into there and could have potentially ruined everything. Yeah, we're very close to finishing this. It really is just a single silver rupee pouch. I was holding my breath. I was so close to me just going into here. I know, I kind of like spaced out a little bit. I had to remind myself that the whole adult Link during day thing is purely Kakariko. Okay, I did clear out this one, so... So Lon Lon is done, minus cow checks. I wouldn't even be mad if we found a Pona song at this point, because at least it would open up some cow checks. Problem is, all the checks that I have left are just hyper scattered right now. I guess since I'm near the Kokiri Forest too, I'll also check, I'll check the shop just to make sure that there wasn't anything in there. Okay, we did do this grotto. I think I've been pretty on top of the business scrubs. I don't think I've been leaving any behind right now. That's the way out, so this way. There's a Skulltula up there as Adult Link. Whoops. Oops. Cool. Glad I wasted my time on this. Let's go in here. I also want to double check. I don't remember if I stopped the rolling Goron as Kid Link. Okay, well, you deserve everything that happens to you. No, I wanted to stop the rolling Goron. There's also a universe too where now that I have the silver rupees for the light trial, there's a universe where the light trial could have the remaining silver rupees that I need. I don't think it's likely though, because there's only like, I think 2 pots left in that. We gonna be here for a bit. I did not do that check, but but it didn't matter because it didn't give me anything. Alright, so like I said, we'll do the last check in the Lost Woods. I'm gonna double check the Kokiri shop real quick. We'll go do the frog check at Zora's River. And then I'm gonna take a short, like, 5-minute break. I don't think there was anything important in here, but nah. I may have to, when I come back, we may have to just go ahead and try to finish off the remaining bug checks, which I have a good idea of which bean patches I haven't dropped bugs into, but I don't remember all of them, so guess we'll all find out together. Well, that's not helpful. No touchy Octorok. Yeah, so there's only one more check here, and that's for Epona's song, which I still don't have. Okie dokie. Alright, chat. I'm going to pause here for a second. YouTube, I will be right back, so hang tight. Alright, YouTube, we are back. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. Alright. So at this point, what I'm going to do, I want to avoid doing boss room checks. I'm gonna kind of just go back through everything that, like, I've missed, even if I feel like I've seen a gossip stone that has said foolish to plunder. Because at this point, I think I'm just mixing and matching gossip stones. Because there's no reason I should be this deep in and have not found the silver rupee pouch. So there's something that I'm missing. So the first thing we're going to do, since we're nearby, we're going to go to Kakariko Village. We're going to go back to the Royal Tomb, and I'm going to check the Sun Song check. Because that was one that I left behind because there was a gossip stone that said foolish to plunder. At this point, that could be the case, or it could have been from a previous randomizer. After that, we will probably go back as Adult Link, we'll do the Goron claim check. I'm fairly certain I also had a gossip stone that told me that was foolish to plunder. At this point, we're going to check everything, so unless we get like a major item. If we get a major item at any point through this, then that changes. But those are going to be the first two checks we do, and then we will kind of cycle from there. Actually, I think the next thing after that, if we don't get anything from the royal family tomb, I'll grab bugs while I'm here. We'll go do bug checks. I think we'll do the bug checks before we go back to Adult Link for the claim check, but let's just go ahead and double check this. Hi Tina, how are you? Oh, I do have to take out all these keys. Whoops. I was playing as Zelda going, you know, it's going great. Wrecked. Like I said, I'm 98% certain there was a gossip stone that said this was just a rupee of some kind. But again, we are so deep into this randomizer that at this point, I need to just keep everything on the table. I got off work early for once. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. We're very far in this, and this is the second time I gaslit myself off of a gossip stone from a previous run, because I know for a fact there was a gossip stone that said this was foolish to plunder in some regard, telling me there was a rupee. Life is pain. Okay, let's go do some cow checks. I swear to God, if the cow checks are gonna lead to the silver rupee patch, I might crash out. Yeah. I knew this was going to be my biggest problem in doing this whole, like, if I hear the Gerudo Valley theme, I have to reset, is if I had several different randomizers that I wound up going through, which we had 4 other ones, I was just going to start meshing hints together. Alright, I can't jump up to that one. I mean, Lon Lon has the most cows, but I'm also close to Death Mountain Trail. So we might as well just go to Death Mountain Trail's cow first. And then I can kind of just cycle from there. Ruby looks different. So yeah, we'll do the Death Mountain Trail cow first. Then we will go to... oh my god. To Lon Lon Ranch. Because there's, I think, 4 cows there. And then Gerudo Valley, there's one on the way into there, and then there's one in the valley itself. And we'll just cross our fingers and hope that what we need is here, because after that, we're going to be scrounging for checks again. The queen of the pizza fairies. Hello, cow. I have finally acquired the Song of the Epona. If I didn't gaslight myself on the Epona song check, we could have had this ages ago. Because I got Zelda's Lullaby ages ago. Regardless, time to go clear Ganon's castle. Thank you for the quack. Okay, with that being said, chat, here we go. It is time to head to Ganon's castle and potentially beat this. Yeah, chat is all pointing and laughing at me right now. I guess it could be worse. But hey, you know what? We were able to find the extended magic meter, so I guess that's something. The pizza fairies demand it. Oh, I see that redemption. So what I'm gonna do with any Tetris redemptions is I'm going to lump them all together, and either when we finish this, if this wraps up quickly, or if I wind up having to re-randomize before I end stream, I'll get all of those done. That way I don't have to like pause YouTube over and over again. And then that way too, if I highlight enough of that, I might be able to just do like a separate VOD of all of that. But that's been a long time since we've had a Tetris redemption. Tina's about to single-handedly make me do a second half stream of nothing but Tetris. Alright. Need bomb shoes. I was waiting for another. I think I have them on a little bit of a cooldown. Purely because when I was putting it together, when I had them up in the past, I had like a whole slew of them redeemed at once, and it just completely derailed everything. So I have a little bit of a cooldown, that way if other people want to redeem it, or like if I'm doing something where I can kind of just stagger doing it, it works out better. I don't remember which one it is. I don't remember. There we go. Explain that one to me. So the incredible thing is, we have not found the Lens of Truth. Okay, let's knock out Light Trial. I think after we do Light Trial, I think it's just the Shadow Trial that's left. Because I think I ran out of magic for that one. Don't you hate that? You get so close to being done with something and it just doesn't want to cooperate. Yeah, my god, it's empty. Oh, there are pots in here. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's just a shadow one that I need to finish up. Alright, chat, we are very close to the potential end of this. Which is honestly crazy to think about. Perfect. Blah. Let's finish 8 rounds of 50 stitches per round, then had to make a chain of 55 stitches, crochet down the chain, and now I'm working another chain of 55 stitches. And the yarn wants to fight me because I'm using a tiny 2mm hook. Holy. Alright, chat. Here is where everything could derail. There's, I think, 3 to 4 more opportunities. Well, technically 5 if you count the credits, but 3 to 4 more opportunities of running into the Gerudo Valley theme. But I'm brave. Let's do this. Okay. We are safe scaling the tower. We are safe scaling the tower right now. Now they crowded me. They've ruined my plan. There we go. Can't ruin my plan if I stop them first. So we are now in the position where this song could show up in the final fight against Ganon. Got him. Wow, a Deku shield. I'm curious about something. I don't think it's gonna work, but no, that didn't really work like I thought it would. The neat part is we still have one more grouping of checks we can get. Oh hey, there's the Broken Goron sword. That was... I think that was the last trade quest item I was missing. So if I leave here... Oh, I can't leave. I was gonna say, can I refill my magic meter, but... Oh, I have, like, no fairies either, so that's fun. Often hear people complain about how much R is charged for crocheted items. I don't think they realize how long even smaller pieces can take. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is... There's a lot of stuff people complain about pricing for, but it's like, the time, labor, and energy for something of quality, you have to keep it in consideration. Yes, there are people who will charge absurd amounts, but at the end of the day, they have the right to charge what they feel they're worth. And as long as it's, like, actually good quality, then, you know. Alright, please do not hurt me here, Ganon. Or Ganondorf, please don't do it. Please don't do it. There's no freaking way! There's no way! Oh my god! Oh! There's no shot. That's actually wild. Everybody enjoy it for now. We were this close, chat. We were this close to beating the run. All we had to do was get past this fight and the Ganon fight, and we were there. I literally have 98% of the items in this game. Well, everybody say goodbye to run number 5. It's time for run number 6. All right. No, you know what? All right, we're back at the beginning of the game. Forget everything we just spent the last, like, 9 hours doing, and we're on a brand new run. And I immediately need to just reset it, because I forgot, it's been so long, I need to change the targeting. because I forgot it doesn't save that setting for some reason. Anyway. We were so close, chat. We were so close. Fire Temple has the water medallion. Also, am I gonna really hear that gunshot every single time I pick up an item? What do we got here? That is not worth it. Holy. Sure, you know what? There we go, chat. We have Nehru's love. Never gonna use it, but we have it now. I do see that. So what I'm gonna do here, YouTube, I'm gonna pause you for just a minute so I can take care of this real quick, and then I will be right back. All right, YouTube, we have returned. The chat got cleared because I changed overlays. All right, let's continue. Oh, hey. That's instant access to Zora's domain. A map. Yep, we're gonna hear that every single time. That's fun. Item up there is a recovery heart. We already checked that shop. We've got these two houses, the sword check, and then I guess we make our way over to Hyrule Castle. Hey, we didn't find this in the last attempt, but we have it now. At least I know attempt 5, we got all of the major items. Tis just sad that we are now on a new attempt. I was really, really hoping in that last attempt that either Kakariko Village as an adult or Lon Lon Ranch during the day, we're gonna hold on to Gerudo Valley theme so that I could just avoid hitting them, but did not happen that way. Alright, so I guess we are done in Kokiri Forest. I think what we'll do is we'll head over to the market, clear out all of the checks in there, and get the letter for Kakariko. And I'll probably wrap up there for this. And then that way YouTube, that'll kind of be the end of this part. And then, chat, we will still go for just a little bit longer. Because I'll have the Tetris 99 redemptions to take care of. I was excited to have more OOT, but literally in Ganondorf room is so rough. That was brutal. And obviously I knew... Calm down, Navi. I knew the, that it could exist as a possibility. Doesn't make it hurt any less that it did. I heard the sound of the guitar, and I immediately started tensing up. Oh, what do we got in here? Okay, we're gonna hope that that key is not going to be necessary. And that I can just use that as the skippable key. Is the sound of the Kuko what I think it is? Oh, that's the mirror shield. Yo, I can buy nothing for 665 rupees. Oh, that's not the mirror shield. That's the mirror shield. It's long lost cousin that instead of actually reflecting things, it just goes straight through it and into your soul. Water temple key. Yay, air. Yeah, I'd like to buy your finest air, please. Actually, hold on. I did see the Deku shield. I would like to have that, please. Alright, let's equip this. What do we got? Shooting the sun grants a heart container. The underwater silver rupees in Gerudo training ground rewards a green rupee. Final reward from the frogs is pointless. And Malon's obstacle course is pointless. Two very good things to find out, because I hate doing those checks. Alright, to pot room. Away! Oh, there's the boss key for Ganon's castle. Starting off strong with that one. Oh ho, the fairy ocarina. Let's go. Alright, we're getting some big checks early. That is very nice. Shadow Temple key. Art piece. A map. Okay, some silver rupees. Alright, pot room looking pretty good right now. Never mind, I got a Skulltula token. Everything is pain. Literally nothing. Yippee. More nothing. Chat, I hope you like the Song of Time, because that's pretty much all we're going to be hearing in this room. All right. That's more money on the floor. Map. Alright, I need to reload the room because I once again forgot about the Skulltula token in there. I need some pots to use as ammunition. Yoink. Oh my god. Light arrows inbound. Close enough. Alright, so pot room popped off early and then was kind of a letdown late. Cool, I'm breaking pots every time I shoot the slingshot. I tried to overcorrect and I just couldn't get it back in line. That's what I was trying to do. Perfect. Okay, actually a potential useful item. Until I inevitably find a gossip stone that says, "It's foolish to plunder the training grounds." I don't have a weapon, do I? Nope. Guess we're not getting that Skulltula right now. That's the light arrows, chat. So inevitably, 6 hours from now, when I haven't found them, we'll know where they're at. So the treasure thrown by Princess Zelda is a Gerudo training ground small key. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. Okay. I cannot let myself unnecessarily burn a key because the chance of having to do that exists in a very high capacity. Oh, that's annoying. You good? I guess she's not gonna sing anything this time. It's foolish to plunder Dodongo's cavern. There's a pork roast in the salami bin. How did I avoid running into all of those dogs? Richard. Sometimes I wonder if getting back into writing is a bad idea when things like that pop into my head. Nah. Did you know songs are banned this run? True. This seemed like such a great content idea. And then run 5 happened. Winner! No, I'm not a winner. I'm on run number 6. Don't gaslight me. Alright, that should be everything in the market at night for now. Nope, hold on, hold on. Hold on, we got the treasure box shop. We can spend 10 rupees to get a green rupee. Sorry, it was a blue rupee. My bad. I am genuinely curious what song randomized to her. 'Cause usually she's like humming part of it, but okay. That's nice that while Kakariko is burning to the ground, Sheik's gonna give away money. Oh my god. Chicken! God! Why is that the sound? Oh, Kakariko Village is gonna be a nightmare, chat. Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare. Oh god. This might be one of the more cursed sounds we've gotten. Trying to remember what enemy or entity makes that sound. Alright, let's go over here to Kakariko. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's the, it's Queen Goma's babies. Yep. Good call on that one. Ooh, Cannon Castle small key. Oh, this sound is gonna sound great once I drop the Kuko. Ready, chat? Well, you know what? You want to give me nothing? Then fine. Screw your chicken. Now what are you gonna do, huh? This chicken is mine. Honestly, kind of a sick beat. True, though. Water temple hoards at bottom of the well, small key. Well, guess we're never gonna get through all the bottom of the well keys then. That's a shame. Spirit temple key. Truly is a shame, chat. Nope, get down. Get down. Thank you. These are some sounds of all time. Alright, let's see what the Skulltula rewards are, so we can cry. 20 spiders for a heart. 40 spiders for a rupee. 30 for a token. 50 for... Oh, you would put the Zora tunic there. Okay, well... If I find wallet upgrades first, then you're on your own, buddy. 10 spiders. Wow, cool. If you defeat 10 spiders, I'm going to give you nothing, and you will be okay with it. Truly a rude spider. There's one always in the shop, same with the Goron tunic. The ones that are always in the shop will be on the right-hand side, and they'll always be 200 for the Goron and 300 for the Zora. So there's like an extra way to get those tunics outside of the progression way. Oh hey, Hylian shield. I actually just realized I don't even think I can do much at night in Kakariko. I don't have, like, any weapons. I mean, I could take out a couple of the Skulltulas, but there's a number of them that I can't do anything with. Makes sense, didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that in the early ones. I always, like, the very first ones that I was doing, I just thought that, like, oh, that's where they randomized to. But yeah, they, there's always a guaranteed one in the shop. And which shop it is does change. It's definitely a nice quality of life thing, because sometimes you could have a tunic that gets locked for a really long time. And it's not even... I mean, in certain instances, they are, like, important way of the hero stuff, but at the same time, too, if you gather enough hearts, you can brute force a good chunk of it without the tunics. So, while the tunics, yes, are technically, like, way of the hero, you can get around a lot of it. Like, I had one randomizer where I had to progress halfway into the Fire Temple without a Goron tunic. Because I needed, I think it was like progression for either the Shadow Temple or the Spirit Temple that then led to the Goron tunic. Because I just didn't have a wallet upgrade. And I've had, I think, 2 different times I had to progress the Water Temple without the Zora tunic, and that's more annoying. Alright, so we'll do what we can in here and in the graveyard, and then that's where we will wrap up the randomizer for today. Like I said, that'll be it on the YouTube side, but for Twitch, don't go anywhere, because once we wrap up with this, we do have some Tetris to play. And I will say too, I probably will only do the 2 redemptions that happened. If anything else gets redeemed, I'm just gonna write it down for next stream. Just so that I'm not here super late. No, bomb chew bag. What do I got, 10? Alright. The other skull tools are gonna kind of have to just wait. I don't really want to waste those. It's like he knows what we might do or something. It's like I know. Alright, last check for the randomizer for today. I still can't believe we got all the way to Ganon and it fell apart. Well, Ganondorf rather, but... Treasure box shop key. Nice. Alright, that is going to be it for the randomizer for today. Like I said, YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying the series. As I'm sure you've probably figured out, this is not the final part. I will be picking up more on this next week. So YouTube, thanks for sticking around. I hope you've been enjoying it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!